This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your source for the latest Iowa ag news headlines right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, Mark Magnuson, and Andy Peterson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley.
Hello and welcome into Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Tuesday, December 10th of 2024. We're so glad you can join us for today's show. And of course, I am here at the Iowa Farm Bureau annual meeting here in Des Moines. Lots of great conversation had today representing Iowa's farmers, including some remarks to the media from American Farm Bureau Federation President Zippy Duvall. Had a great conversation about what's been going on with the Illinois Farm Bureau, as well as what they're hoping to see in the next Farm Bill and the next administration here in the United States. We will also have Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net for the closings later on. But before we get into any of that, let's start off with some of those remarks from Zippy Duvall, especially talking about that Farm Bill. If I could piggyback off of that a little bit with the new administration, changes in Congress and Senate as well, looking at the Farm Bill, hopefully to get something done in the next few years. What are the odds on that and that you guys are seeing, and what are some of the things that obviously you're hearing from farmers that you want in that Farm Bill?
Well, obviously we're extremely disappointed we don't have a new Farm Bill. We need a new modernized Farm Bill for the same reasons that was asking the question, because of inflation, because of low prices, we experienced COVID, and we don't farm in the same environment we did in 2018. So we continue to push that. We haven't given up. We won't give up. We're going to continue to push that. But they've kicked it down the road 2 years, and it's time for this Congress to set the politics aside and do what's right by our food system and our farmers and ranchers, providing that food system for our American people. We right now are focused on not just pushing for a modernized Farm Bill, but pushing for disaster and economic payments to try to be able to bind our farmers over until we can get a new Farm Bill passed. Because it looks like right now we might get an extension of a Farm Bill that's not efficient to provide the risk management tools that our farmers need. So that economic package is going to be just really important alongside of the disaster payments that needs to happen across America, because we've seen just about everything that could be happening in a natural disaster all across the country. I actually drove up from southeast Georgia yesterday back to my farm in North Georgia, and it was way worse than I ever thought it was. It was the first opportunity I had to actually ride down in that area since Helene, and it looks like the bomb went off for 100 miles. I mean, it's really, really bad. And the crops that were destroyed, the barns that were destroyed, homes and lives that were lost, it really was difficult to look at right up to that.
Is there anything Farm Bureau is looking at in terms of risk management to help in the future take some of the concerns farmers have about disasters?
Well, we have conversations around whether the disaster programs that we've had in the past are efficient, really. We really haven't and don't have a plan how to move forward with that. And we've talked to congressional leaders several times about, do we make this something that happens every year? Make sure it's just there available. The disaster programs in the past, the biggest problem we have with them is it takes so long to get them on the ground and make payments out. Sometimes 2 or 3 years after the disaster. If a farmer loses everything, he's already went on with his life trying to do something else, and it's really not effective for him. So we need to find that way to be able to do that.
That again was American Farm Bureau Federation President Zippy Duvall. I have more of his remarks posted on our social media channels. Stay tuned online to see when those go live. Up next, we have the closing market. I'll be sending it back to the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios here in a little bit. But first, let's hear a word from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
You're watching Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and it's time now for our closing markets with Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net. Kaden, it had been kind of a couple of quiet days in the ag marketplace, but now today we had a WASDE report. What did we learn in the report?
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm coming in here pretty surprised and not talking at all what I thought I would be. A few hours ago, really had a pretty nice surprise on the corn side with carryout coming down 200 million bushels from a 1.9 to a 1.7 carryout. Certainly a good number. I don't think it was out of line by any means. We just increased demand, supply, and yield stayed the same. But like I said, I don't think it was out of line number, just maybe a little unexpected in that, USDA did so much. And in December even, it's usually a quiet report, but they sure did it today.
So, Kaden, then I guess the big question is, what does that mean for going forward from the report here? Is this going to give us a little bit of legs if that corn number, if that shows us that it's a little bit bullish?
Yeah, today's market action, you certainly could say, a bit of a bullish reward with corn closing up 7 cents or so. The caution I would give is that we're going to close right under 450 on March corn. The 200-day moving average for March corn is right there, about 451, 452. We have not closed above that 200-day moving average in all of 2024. So it's going to be pretty firm resistance, in my opinion. Like I said, the cuts that USDA made are not necessarily out of line, meaning the market probably had a chunk of it somewhat priced in. We're going to find out how much, over the course of next week and this week too, of course, remaining. But remains to be seen. But I think two things can be true. I think this is a bullish report. I also think the reaction could be a bit muted with where we're trading right now.
And was that the case for today, especially? Was it a little bit of a muted reaction in terms of what we saw in the price movement?
Yeah, if you had given me this number, 9 o'clock this morning, I would have guessed we'd been up probably 12 or 15. We were pretty quiet at the report open, so closing up 7. Most of that is based off of the report. I would have probably guessed a little stronger reaction, but again, that 450 number I think is so important. I haven't talked about beans any, but the beans were the same as November's report. They did not change anything there. So beans have certainly been the more quieter of the two today. We were, up 8 or so going into the report. We're going to close up about a nickel. So pretty quiet reaction there on the bean side.
Well, the grains always steal the headlines on WASDE report day, but let's talk about the other side of the market. How did cattle and hogs trade?
Yeah, I would call cattle, the more quiet one today. Trading largely sideways as we have here the last week on both feeders and fats for the most part. Although we're gaining back some on the live cattle here, going to close up $2 after we've given it up some early in the week. Hogs down $2 today. That's probably the big loser. Although with the firm uptrend we've been having and seeing, no technical damage is done yet. We're just going down, checking the 50-day moving average there on the hog market. So wouldn't be too concerned yet. We obviously continue to slip down and break support. That's where your concern comes in. But right now, I'm not there yet.
Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net, my guest for closing markets here today. Kaden, what is the best way for our listeners to get in touch for more marketing information?
Yes, sir. Just go to our website, agmarket.net. You can take a free trial of all of our products and services that we offer. Happy to help any way that we can.
Kaden, thanks so much for the time. Appreciate it, and have a great rest of your week.
Yeah, sounds good, man. You too. Appreciate it.
That again was Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net. We'll take a look at how the numbers close through the market window at iowaagnet.com. At the close, March corn up 7 1/4 at 4.49 even. January soybeans up 4 3/4 at 9.94 3/4. January soybean meal up 2.40 at 2.92 even. January soybean oil down 8 cents at 42.72. Chicago wheat up 3 even at 5.61 3/4. Kansas City hard red wheat up 7 even at 5.65 3/4. Minneapolis spring wheat up 3 1/4 at 6.06 1/2. March oats down 1 even at 3.53 1/2. On the Merc, December live cattle up 2.05 at 189.85. January feeders up $1.52 at 257.32. February lean hogs down $1.92 at 84.57. Pork cutout down 52 cents at 93.87. And December Class 3 milk down 7 cents at $18.81. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. That also brings us to the end of today's episode. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on social media at Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and find our video content as well as previous episodes of AM PM on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. Don't forget as well our free morning, midday, and closing market podcasts, as well as the Iowa Ag Matters podcast and Pods of Potential. Find those on your favorite podcasting service at Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Farm Bureau annual meeting in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of everybody of the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network broadcasting crew, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.